at Gillette Stadium, kicking off week 6 of the NFL season. New England going for its 16th straight win at home. But here come the Giants trying once again to take down the perfect Patriots. And there's Daniel Jones, the Giants starting quarterback, 2-1 in his career, making his 4th career start. Can he upset these Patriots at Gillette Stadium? And then Tom Brady, he's got something to say about all of this. He needs just 18 passing yards to pass Peyton Manning on the all-time passing list. Second place for him, not too shabby. We got the Patriots and the Giants going down tonight on TNF.
Week 6 begins with an iconic Super Bowl rivalry, and the reigning champs are perfect 5-0. Is this team Brady and Belichick's best ever? Meanwhile, Daniel Jones gets set for the biggest challenge of his young career.
What a play by Jones!
Has the Giants rookie already proven he's the next franchise quarterback in the Big Apple?
I got the green light, and I'm on my way now, and I'm making waves now. Ready or not, here I go.
And one of the game's most dynamic stars, with one of the greatest of all time, Hall of Famer Barry Sanders, one-on-one with Saquon Barkley.
He's looking like, what just happened?
As Week 6 begins on NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC.
Here I come.
Welcome to NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC.
Here we are in Foxborough. These fans, they will weather any storm, even if it's a nor'easter, which is what is upon the Boston region right now. Here at Foxborough, no rain yet, but we're inside the stadium. The winds, they've reached about 17 miles an hour. Haven't gone over that at this point, everybody. Welcome into the show. I'm Colleen Wolfe with Joe Thomas. Steve Smith Sr.'s at the kids' table for some reason tonight. I don't know
in the
why.
house.
Come up to our level, Steve, please. Come on. Come up here.
I
Willie
like it.
McGinnis.
I like it better down here.
Willie, can you help me out?
I got it.
Come on.
Right. Come on. Oh God. Okay. There you go.
There we go.
Almost went on IR. Is there IR for TV?
You
no,
might
they
be
just
on
fire
it.
you.
Yeah, that's true. All right, everybody, let's get into the matchup. We are off and running. And look, you know who wins a lot of games? The Patriots do. 4 times under Bill Belichick, they've started 5-0 or better. And now this squad's not only beating teams, but doing it by the most points since Belichick got there. Oh, and the defense, they're on pace to allow the fewest points per game in the Super Bowl era. So, Willie, there have been some amazing teams over the years with Brady and Belichick, but is this squad right here, right now, better than the rest? Better than your team, Seth.
Right now, week 5, we're talking about the best team ever. And you know I've been conditioned.
Week 6.
Not only by these coaches, but by this place, but talking about how great they are in week 5. But I will say, leading up to this point, they are. And when you do the comparisons, whether it's point score, whether it's the defense, at this point, they're doing a great job. And I compare them to the 2007 Patriots, which I think were a little more explosive offensively, scoring more points, had the record, 50 touchdowns, 23 for Moss, and all those different things. But I think right now they have the opportunity, the way they're playing, the pace that they're going at, to be one of the best Patriot teams ever.
Wow. All right. So through 5 games, look, this defense has been playing
It kills
amazing.
me to say that right now in week 5.
I'm actually shocked. I did not think that you were going to do that. But okay, there you guys have it. Willie McGinnis, this is the best Patriots team that we've seen so far. So the Patriots schedule, though, it's been pretty kind to start the season, Willie. 3 of their next 4, though, are in prime time with back-to-back games against New York teams. So they have the Jets coming up next. Then they get a bye, week 10, followed by games against the Eagles, Cowboys, Texans, and Chiefs. All right, so, Joe, is this going to be another perfect season, or where do you see them getting their first loss on the schedule?
It's not going to be a perfect season for the Patriots. I agree with Willie. This defense is as good as they've ever had, but the offense isn't quite as good as 2007. And when I look at the schedule, I look at Week 11 versus the Philadelphia Eagles as that's going to be their first really big test. It's in Philly. Philly's going to be playing for the division against the Dallas Cowboys. Those are the two teams. It's a two-horse race in the NFC East. And I really think that's the game that's going to give the Patriots trouble because Deshaun Jackson should be back by then. He's a deep threat that could possibly give this secondary some troubles. And then Jordan Howard, their running back, is doing a really good job. He's kind of become their key go-to running back. He's a guy that gets first downs at the highest rate in the NFL, and that's a formula to beat the Patriots. Keep the ball away from Tom Brady, run the football right at him. That's their best chance to win.
Belichick is 31-8, though, after the bye. So, you know, just a little.
He knows how to get his teams ready with a little extra time, but you know what? Who also is pretty good coming off of a bye is Andy Reid and Andy Reid disciples. Andy Reid, probably the other coach that people talk about how great he is getting his teams ready off of a bye, and the Eagles are going to be coming off of their bye. So two teams that will be well rested, probably pretty healthy, and that's going to be a great game to watch.
And that 31-8, of course, is including the playoffs. But Steve, where do you see on their schedule that they're getting their first L?
I'd look at Week 9 against the Baltimore Ravens because of mobile quarterback, and then also look at Week 13 against the Houston Texans. And why is that? Because these guys are mobile quarterbacks. They can move around. When you look at this defense for the New England Patriots, they are causing havoc against opposing quarterbacks. So mobility will be something that they need because they're playing out of their mind defensively. So that's the two teams that I look at, why they can do it. But, hey, the NFL is not for long. But also, too, each week, you never know what can happen. So I'm excited to watch that. But I don't really see this team really falling off too much because the way they're playing football, defensively, is outstanding. And you always got Tom Terrific, who's doing what he does on offense with nobodies or with somebody. He just makes it a very good, delicious dessert all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, look,
we're just getting started. You're talking dessert already. Yeah.
You could say what you want about the schedule and the opponents being maybe not the greatest competition, but this defense is still playing unbelievably aggressive, and they are beating these teams so well. So I feel like you guys are right. We will see where they take this squad this year. They probably are the best team that we've seen out of Foxborough in a while. There's Julian Edelman. He is questionable tonight with a chest injury, but we will see him out there, and we have much more to come here on Game Day Kickoff. And after tonight, the next NFL action coming your way is early Sunday morning. Make sure you set your alarm and your fantasy lineups. The Panthers and the Bucks are in London. We'll get your day started with coverage at 7 a.m. Eastern. Kickoff from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at 9:30 Eastern, only on NFL Network.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by KFC's new Mac and Cheese Bowl, now in a $5 fill-up. It's finger-licking good.
Introducing.
Early detection is the best defense against cancer, and that's why the NFL and American Cancer Society developed the Defender, a tool that provides tips on how to reduce your risk of cancer. Join your favorite players and take the Defender today. Visit NFL.com/crucial catch for more information. There is Julian Edelman out on the field there. He balled out last week with 110 yards receiving. Here's a look at who else dominated a wild and crazy Week 5.
Unstoppable, presented by Courtyard by Marriott.
Here we go! Unstoppable! Dominate. Fires at the end zone. Touchdown! Dominate. Driving! Oh. And he leads the somersault. What a cut! And a big play. And oh my goodness! How big is that? Dominating this game.
Fantasy matchups definitely won with some of those unbelievable performances last week. But Willie and Joe, who's set up to have a big game tonight?
Well, it's got to be the man who leads the team in rush yards and rush touchdowns. And when he scores a touchdown, they're 11-0. That's Sony Michel. He's the bell cow. They put a big emphasis on getting him the ball. And when you watch what he's doing from the backfield, it's great blocking, but it's also great running. Here's just right here, a zone, inside zone read. They do a good job of getting man on man. You'll see the left guard get down on the 3 technique. You'll see the left tackle get up on the linebacker. The tight end does a great job of kicking out the outside backer. But Sony Michel makes this play work. He presses the line of scrimmage, waits for the play to develop, has great patience, finds the alley, then he turns into a big 21-yard gain. Here's another play, same thing. This is a power running team. It's called a lead G power. I know you like these, Joe. Same thing
right here. Bread and butter right there.
Bread and butter. Right tackle block down, tight end's going to block down. The left guard's going to pull. He's the kick-out guy. The fullback's going to lead up inside, find work with the support player, and Sony Michel does a great job of finishing the play, giving the safety a big stiff arm right here and getting a touchdown.
My man, Jabril Peppers right here, he is going to be unstoppable tonight because he's back at his comfortable natural position at strong safety. We'll see him down here in the box, taking on the block. Actually does a really nice job forcing Dalvin Cook back into his linebackers who somehow trip over each other. But the play is not over. Jabril Peppers hustles down and he's able to force the fumble right before Dalvin Cook gets into the end zone. Here we go, one more play. Jabril Peppers once again down in the box, comfortable playing man-to-man on the tight end. The tight end is getting up the field, and he drifts upfield. You can't do that if you're running the crossing route. Jabril's right in his hip pocket, playing perfect position, and he's able to undercut, get the interception, and take it back to the house for 6. Now that Jabril is back to his natural position at strong safety after playing really deep in Cleveland at free safety, it's allowed him to unlock his potential as a big playmaker on that defense.
I see where you're going there. They bring Jabril Peppers back in the box. They're going to run Sony Michel. That's a matchup, Colleen, that we all need to watch for.
I'm excited for that one, guys. Thank you for that. And look, in celebration of the NFL's 100th anniversary, the NFL's current generation of stars sit down with legends of the game in the series Generations, presented by Genesis. This week pairs one of the game's brightest stars at running back with one of his idols. Here's a sneak peek.
You're just toying with him, huh? Yeah, I'm just trying to play with him a little bit. It's just one of those times where you're able to spin a guy around. You're facing one defender, but you always have to be thinking about the next guy. You're in traffic, bodies are everywhere. You're just reading and reacting. Those big guys chasing you, they hate when you cut it back like that. Yeah, that means they have to run extra, you know, and they don't want to run like that. This play right here, I'm thinking, okay, you just get down, get a few yards, and live to see the next play, and I'll bounce off the guy. I was just as surprised as everyone that I scored on that. One of the things that you always think about is, okay, when they get to the NFL, how are they going to run between the tackles, right? And so you just kind of showed us right there, cut it outside. He's looking like, what just happened?
I can't wait to see the rest of that interview. That's coming up a little later in the show, but there is Daniel Jones, and I'm sure he wishes that he had the help of Saquon Barkley out here tonight. He will not, as Barkley deals with that high ankle sprain. We'll have more on how Jones can pull off the upset tonight here in Foxborough.
What would a champion?
A chilly Thursday here at Foxborough as the Giants prepare to take on the Patriots. But this isn't the only game we have for you on NFL Network this week. On Sunday, it's the Panthers and the Bucks live from Tottenham's Hotspur Stadium in London. It doesn't get any better than football for breakfast, guys. Wake up with us on Game Day Kickoff at 7 a.m. Eastern. Kickoff at 9:30 Eastern, only on NFL Network, where all eyes will be on Christian McCaffrey.
Up the middle. Everybody's on their feet in Panther Stadium right now.
Oh my goodness, McCaffrey
makes the catch and he leaps and somersaults.
This dude right here is the best running back that we've seen in a while.
Hey.
Christian McCaffrey, he's been absolutely brilliant this season. Scrimmage yards for days. In fact, only Hall of Famer Jim Brown had more all-purpose yards through the first 5 games of any season since 1950. That's how crazy he's been. And If McCaffrey continues on this pace, he'll break Chris Johnson's single-season scrimmage yards record. But is he the MVP? Tiffany Blackman is in London and asked Luke Kuechly.
You've had a lot of praise for Christian McCaffrey this season. I mean, the guy's doing it all for you, for this team. Does he deserve to be MVP this year?
Hey, he's on that track right now. He's done a great job. If we're voting now, I'm voting for him, obviously. But his ability to be consistent is been amazing. Consistent every game. He's been a rock for us, and he's a unique talent because, you know, I think it really shows how hard he trains in the offseason, how well he takes care of himself during the week, so he's ready to go each week. I don't know how he's able to carry the ball as much as he does, catch the ball as much as he does, and then when Sunday rolls around, it's like he's brand new. So he deserves all the credit he gets. I'm glad he's getting it, and he's worked extremely hard to get there.
Time for Play with Abandon, presented by Wrangler. Okay, Willie, so you heard what Kuechly had to say about McCaffrey. Look, the last running back to win the MVP was Adrian Peterson in 2012. But if McCaffrey can lead the Panthers to the playoffs, is he the MVP?
Wow. I think that would be great. If he could lead them to the playoffs, that would be great. But I think it's going to take more. You talk about at the running back position, you have to do something more spectacular than just have a bunch of scrimmage yards. You got to break the rushing record. You got to be the touchdown leader. It has to be something to do that. If he can stay consistent, which right now he's got a bad back, he's cramping up. He's playing almost 95% of the plays. They're putting a lot on him. Can he continue? Can he be consistent? And you heard his teammates say it. They're really smart. Through week 5, yes, he's doing a whole bunch, but there's other players in the league that are doing a lot. And I just think it's difficult unless you do something special at the running back position. But for his team, they should all be saying, yes, he's the MVP.
So breaking the scrimmage yard record, that wouldn't be enough?
No, that probably would be enough. Adrian Peterson was 8 yards to tie it, 9 yards to break it, and he won it. So that was something pretty spectacular.
Well, I think you're missing only one thing. I agree, Willie, that for Christian McCaffrey to win, he needs to set some type of record or at least be right there.
Right.
But the other thing that needs to happen is you have to have no deserving quarterbacks. And right now there's a guy named Russell Wilson that we saw last Thursday. That was unbelievable. He has put the team on his back. He's a guy that's in the top 3 in almost every statistical category that matters. Almost 75% of his passes he's completing. And it's not like he's dinking and dunking.
No.
He's throwing the ball down the field. And so right now, to me, Russell Wilson is the clear winner. And only if something happens to him and Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, does CMC have a chance to win.
And it's week 5.
And it's week 5, so
only
you know what?
week 5.
It's a little early right now.
It's week 6 technically. We're starting week 6.
Right, week 6.
Okay, so look, the Panthers, they're operating fine without Cam Newton right now because of all of the things that Christian McCaffrey's doing. But let's talk about the other team we're going to see in London, the Bucs. Bruce Arians, Joe, he's known for his work with quarterbacks. So what's the verdict so far with Jameis Winston? Is Arians turning him into a franchise quarterback?
He has. Right now, the quarterback whisperer, Bruce Arians, has done an unbelievable job with Jameis Winston. When he came in, he identified what Jameis was lacking, and it was confidence. And so we've heard it from the beginning of the season. Everything that Bruce does when he talks about Jameis Winston is trying to boost his confidence, making sure that he's confident in those critical moments in the game so he's not making those errors that we saw earlier on in his career, making those interceptions, fumbling the football. And that's all about confidence in himself and confidence in his scheme. I think Jameis Winston finally trusts Bruce Arians, and there's a trust between the two of them, that he's not going to put him in a bad situation where he has to go and do more than Jameis Winston is capable of doing. Jameis knows now he can just play within the offense and take what the defense gives him, and they're going to have an opportunity to go down and score and win the game.
I believe that every player has to earn his trust of their coach, and the coaches have to earn the trust of the players. But also, too, it's even more concerning is the quarterbacks because they carry a lot of the load. So what I love to see from Jameis Winston that we've seen is he's getting better and better each week. He's having less and less Jameis Winston, young Jameis Winston mistakes. He's being efficient. He's taking what the defense is giving him, which generally has not been what Jameis has done well. So I love what Bruce Arians is doing. And also, too, we've discussed and talked about it. In his 5th year, no contract. Where's his career? His career right now is in limbo. So he has to prove it. He's back in the corner, and now he has to show that he can be that guy that they can trust. And he's showing it thus far.
Yeah, he's played well for the last 3 weeks. The wins aren't coming, though, because they have some other issues that they're sort of dealing with. But we'll get to see how he does coming up on Sunday against those Panthers. And speaking of franchise quarterbacks, there's one right there.
Danny Dimes!
Danny Dimes.
Looks like he's being arrested. Why is he got his hands in the air like that?
He's just warming up. That's how he warms up, guys.
Fun fact from Charlotte.
Oh.
That's right, baby. Straight out the LBC. Nada. Individual battles. We got to step up. Even if you hit it, I'm coming hard. So I'll blow it up. Where you going? Where you going? Nowhere. You can't get the title unless you knock the champ out.
Back to back. Yes, it's a dynasty.
So many banners. Willie helped win 3 of those beauties, but the man who paved the way for all 6 of them joins us now, and we have Patriots owner Robert Kraft on the set with us. And Mr. Kraft, we were talking a little bit earlier about this particular Patriots team this year, and if it's the best one ever. And I'm sure that you love all of your Patriots teams equally, like children, so I'm going to ask you to rank your kids. Is this the best Patriots team that's ever been?
Well, first of all, the teams that Willie was on, he was my firstborn there, 1994, were great teams, and we'll wait till the end of the season before we give any evaluations.
Fair enough.
It's week 5, right? I mean, it's still a little early.
Like we say, the season begins after Thanksgiving.
It does, it does. So we do have a little history with the team we're playing against tonight. And I know it was 8 years ago, but in a couple of big games, like a couple of big Super Bowls in 07 and 2011, this team back here kind of got the best of us. Do we feel like there's a little special that we're going to add to it tonight? A little get back tonight because it's the Giants?
Well, you know what's funny? Even though I think I'm 35, don't laugh so loud.
I said 28, my bad.
Before the Patriots were created, the Giants were in this market, and I used to watch them on my Dumont TV. And, you know, I had a connection with them, Ketkavich, Modulewski, Y.A. Tittle, Frank Gifford. So, you know, if a horrible thing is going to happen to us with anyone, let it be the New York Giants.
Okay, so I have to ask you this. Between us here, how much longer for Brady and Belichick? Forever?
How much longer?
Are they going to be out here forever?
Well, you know what I'm very proud of? This is our 20th year, and in this business to have continuity like that is special. And I might ask you, how many years are you going to be with the NFL Network?
Forever.
Okay.
Right?
Then that's Brady and Belichick.
Hey, you got a special guest in the house tonight. One of my favorite teammates, Rodney Harrison, is going into the Patriots Hall of Fame. Going to give him an introduction at halftime. How special is it for you bringing Rodney in, and what does this mean for the Patriots?
Well, for us, I mean, Rodney, you know, and this is our 26th season, seeing so many players come and go, but Rodney was really unique, and you know the chemistry when you guys were together. And what he did, he came here, and I think we won 188 games. Is that? No, it can't be right.
So many games.
You just lose count of them.
In the 6 years, I think it's 88 games. And, you know, we won back-to-back Super Bowls, and that hasn't happened in the 15 years since. And what he brought, he was such a catalytic agent to a physical team. He was very special. He's a great guy, and for me, he's a New England Patriot.
Mr. Kraft, it's kind of surreal. You talk about the players that are going into the Patriots Hall of Fame. You see the banners in the back. 94, when we were just putting everything together. And not only the football team, just what you've built and what you've done for the NFL. Are you you just sit back sometimes and take it all in, where the franchise has grown and where this league is, where it is now?
Well, it was a dream of mine. I sat in those metal benches in the old stadium. I went to all 4 venues that the Patriots had before, and I always dreamt about buying the team and trying to put my impact on it, and the good Lord helped me do it. And I love being involved with this team. I I think the NFL does more in America to build a sense of community and allow people to be branded with their different teams and have a certain feeling of connection that's unique in a world that we're actually as connected as we are in all our iPhones and iPads. In many ways, we're not. And I think that our NFL teams bring us together.
Mr. Kraft, when we were here last year after the game, after you guys won, we talked to Rob Gronkowski on the set. Obviously, he's not here anymore. Have you guys had any conversations about him maybe stopping back and, getting the game in?
We all love Gronk, and I think the bottom line is he hasn't put his retirement papers in. So we can always pray and hope. It's a little fact that...
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad I could tell you one thing you don't know. So you can pursue that. And when he puts his retirement papers in, although I think our kicker, Matt Nugent, he's already put his retirement papers in. So even if he puts them in, but that's a good academic argument that there is hope for us still with Gronk.
Okay, so the papers are not officially in yet. I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots. We'll see if he's out here sooner rather than later. Mr. Kraft, thanks so much for stopping by. Good luck to your Patriots tonight. And we will talk to you soon. We'll see you next year, probably.
I hope so.
Robert Kraft joining the set here on Game Day Kickoff as we get you guys ready for this big Week 6 action between the Patriots and the Giants.
Here I go.
Coming up on NFL Game Day Kickoff, the 5-0 Patriots appear to be unbeatable.
That's the way you play complimentary football.
But our experts reveal a weakness that will derail New England's pursuit of perfection. Meanwhile, the pain of Super Bowl defeats still lingers in New England. Will Daniel Jones take a page from the book of Eli tonight? Plus, what was...
They'll never catch him. See you later.
And what's to come?
Touchdown, Saquon Barkley.
Our exclusive conversation between Barry Sanders and Saquon Barkley.
Or maybe you're just running too fast for your own good.
When NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by KFC, returns.
Yeah, here I come.
Right now, Verizon's building the most powerful 5G experience for America and in 13 NFL stadiums and counting, including here at Gillette Stadium. It's how NFL fans can get the streaming and downloading speeds they deserve. This is 5G built right from the network more people rely on. And speaking of speed, we have some coming your way in this feature. Our series, Generations, presented by Genesis, pairs current stars with NFL legends for conversations about greatness across eras. Our latest sit-down brings together a pair of dynamic running backs, Saquon Barkley and Hall of Famer Barry Sanders.
So the NFL asked me for the 100th anniversary, who I would like to sit down and watch film with. I had to pick you. You're one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player. I want to learn from you. I want to see what you see and how you broke it down and what made you great.
I remember this play well. You always love when you see that little crease, at the line of scrimmage, right? You get to that second level, make someone miss.
Nigga, you just toying with him here, huh?
Yeah, I'm just trying to play with him a little bit. It's just one of those times where you're able to spin a guy around. You're facing one defender, but you always have to be thinking about the next guy coming because they're always coming. And so I think that's what good runners do.
This is what I love the best about you, by the way. Every time you score, you celebrate your teammates and you throw the ball to refs. I try to do that. Sometimes I get out of my character a little bit and get a little excited.
It's easy to get excited out there.
Cuts back left, sheds another tackler. This rookie can do everything.
This one, it's probably one of my favorite plays of the year. I'm upset at myself because I didn't finish it.
You run a long ways. That was a great play. I mean, because, you're in traffic, bodies are everywhere, and you're just reading and reacting. Those big guys chasing you, they hate when you cut it back like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have to, that means they have to run extra, and they don't want to run like that.
Sanders still on his feet, and Sanders is gone. 6 Cowboys missed him.
This play right here, kind of going into a crowd, so I'm thinking, okay, you just get down, get a few yards, and live to see the next play, and I bounce off the guy. I was just as surprised as everyone that I scored on that. You get those little gifts sometimes. At some point, you have to have a will. Okay, I'm going to stay on my feet. It does help to just have that mentality, like, no, I'm not going down on this play.
I remember watching your football life, and Emmitt Smith was talking about you, and they were showing his play, and he was saying, playing against you, it could be calm, but then out of nowhere, boom, a storm get hit, and you're one of the best, if not the best, to ever do it. And this run is ridiculous.
Well, you know, it's just a matter of time. You think you got him tackled. Some of those moves, there's only one guy in this game that makes, and you just saw that guy.
I love that so much. Saquon Barkley, of course, is still recovering from a high ankle sprain and will not be out here tonight on the field. As for who is playing tonight, let's take a look at the daily fantasy preview presented by DraftKings. Here's Michael Fabiano's lineup for tonight's game, relying heavily on the Patriots stars, choosing James White over Sony Michel. He also sees John Hilliman and Rhett Ellison as potential sleepers.
DraftKings is the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. And tonight only, new players can play free during the Giants versus Patriots game for your share of $325,000 in prizes with your first deposit. Download the app and sign up using promo code SHOWDOWN.
We'll have more from Foxborough after this, including who's the boogeyman in this matchup tonight. That's coming up next.
Giants down by 4. Manning takes the snap, back to throw, under pressure, avoids the rush, and he's going to fight out of it. Still fights out of it, now throws it deep downfield, wide open Tyree, makes the catch. And Eli Manning end perfection. Touchdown Giants! And the Giants have won Super Bowl 42. Deep ball down the left sideline, and it's going to be caught. Yes! Manningham on the sideline. Bradshaw runs up the middle, and he falls into the end zone for the touchdown.
Got a minute, baby. Probably the final play of the game.
Brady's under pressure. Brady's chased. Brady heaves one. Incomplete, and the ball game's over, and the Giants have won Super Bowl 46.
Here I go. These two teams, they have history. Obviously, Daniel Jones wasn't the quarterback on those Super Bowl teams, but it's pretty safe to say the last 2 decades have been significantly different for our 2 starting quarterbacks tonight. In February 2002, Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, and Daniel Jones was just 4 years old. In 2005, Brady threw his 100th touchdown pass, and Jones wasn't even 10 yet. Almost a decade later, when Brady was selected to his 10th Pro Bowl, Danny was in high school going to study hall and gym class. And then when Brady brought home his 6th Lombardi, Jones had played his final year at Duke and entered the NFL draft. Time for Bucket List, presented by KFC. So Giants fans, they should feel pretty good about the future with Jones at quarterback and their superstar running back and Saquon Barkley, who we won't see out here on the field tonight because of that high ankle sprain. But Willie, they have some really good foundation pieces in place right now. So help aside, what are the Giants missing to become a playoff contender?
And those young pieces are on the offense with Barkley, Ingram, and Shepard. But when you look back at those Super Bowl highlights, they had one of the best defenses in the league. And I just don't think that they have that talent from the front end all the way to the back end right now, or at least they're young and they haven't developed into that. They're only giving up 19 points in those Super Bowl games. That's tough against some of the most potent offenses in the league. So until the defense catches up with the offense, I think they got a long way to go.
Yeah, and when you look at this team, Joe, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it's defense, and it's specifically an impact pass rusher. When you look at the great Giants teams of the last couple decades, the teams that were able to beat the Patriots, it was because they had great defensive line play. They had great pass rushers, because that makes everybody on the defense better. Willie, you know, if you're able to get to the quarterback, that's going to make your run defense better. That's going to make your coverage better. It just makes everybody better. And I don't see anybody right now on this Giants defensive line that can make that impact up front.
With 4 guys, consistently.
You got to be able to do it. You can't just blitz it. And actually, if you look at the Giants, they're very bad when they're blitzing right now because it exposes a lot of the weaknesses in the secondary. So being able to get a pass rusher who can make an impact when you rush only 4 guys, that's something you can't measure with an Abacus.
It's almost like they need a wide receiver, a pass rusher, and a DB. Like, it's almost like they could use a guy like Odell Beckham or Olivier Vernon or Landon Collins out here, you know? I don't know.
Hey,
what do you think?
Players are only as good as their coaches. And so when you look at this team, for this team to be a playoff contender, they need better coaching. You see they lack in depth. They have Jabril Peppers playing linebacker out of position. They have traded away some of their players. They're doing all of these things that indicate they're struggling from a coaching perspective. Just look at Janoris Jenkins, having him follow other wide receivers around. They're putting up a number of points on their defensive guys. They just don't have very good coaches. So it needs to start up front first with the front office coaching. And before you get there and say, before you say, hey, Steve, you dislike Dave Gettleman, let me disprove you on this. When they drafted Daniel Jones and I had the opportunity to work with him at the rookie premiere, he was dropping dimes. Danny Dimes, he was dropping them.
So you gave him that nickname?
And no, I did not. But what I did is I text Dave Gettleman. And I said, hey, you know we're not supposed to like each other, but I see why you drafted him. And he replied back, ha, 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 I agree. Thank you. Understanding this team has a franchise. Yes, he had a good emoji.
Was it a crying, laughing emoji?
Man, stay on top. Right? But basically what I'm saying is stay on top. What I'm saying is this is a franchise quarterback, and you know nothing about franchise.
There it is.
But understanding that they can play football, and he's a guy that they can build around. You know what it reminds me of? A young Eli. Yeah. He can play ball and stays calm and patient through all of this minutia that's going on with the New York Giants right now.
He's like a more athletic Eli a little bit, but he does resemble him in personality, demeanor, a lot of his mechanics. But on the other side of the spectrum, let's talk about the Patriots and their defense. They have been terrorizing teams so far this season, and veteran linebacker Dante Hightower knows just how scary they've been. He said after Sunday's win, we're the boogeyman. We want to go out there and we want to be the engine and the starting force of the defense. We know that if we're out there and we play well, that will hype every other spot, and that's so true. So the Patriots linebackers, they've been a total nightmare for opponents this season. PFF gives this group the highest grade among linebackers. Meanwhile, the secondary, led by the McCourty brothers, has been excellent as well, also graded best in the NFL by PFF. The high praise for this defense, well, it's been as a whole, but New England's played 3 of the lowest scoring offenses in the NFL. So some of the numbers might be skewed just a little bit,
Doesn't matter.
Willie, you have 3 rings from playing out here, and you know linebackers better than anybody else, and this defense right now. Are they good enough to shut down the top talent in the AFC?
Well, they've done it before, and they've shown that they can do it with less talent, and I think they got better defensively this year. And you look about the depth that they have at certain positions, the flexibility, the versatility to be able to morph into different defenses and do what the coaches ask them. That changes from week to week, which is tough for a lot of players, a lot of teams. Got to be smart, got to be able to do it. They've done it at a high level.
It's amazing. They have allowed fewer points per game than the 85 Bears and the 2000 Ravens. Those defenses, some of the top in the league's history, and they have been crushing it out there. So New England's defense, they've dominated all season long, and on the other side of the ball, it doesn't hurt to have one of the greatest of all time.
They say I walk like a king, talk like a king. You can act around now, say the same thing. They chasing the fame, they all want the name. But they ain't got what's running through these veins. Make way for the king. Make way for the king. Make way for the king. We are not the same, they ain't got what's running through these veins. Make way for the king.
Week 6 is almost here as rookie Daniel Jones gets his 4th career start, the toughest task best of his pro career, and 42-year-old Tom Brady looks to keep his Patriots perfect and advance to 6-0.
Thursday night football in the building. Thursday night on the network, the fans is rolling in. Pats vs. Giants, nothing like this, here we go again. The Giants played the Patriots in Super Bowl 42 and Super Bowl 46. New York took both the wins. But Tom, Mr. Miyagi, Brady's playing next to none. Looking to school Daniel Jones, a.k.a. Daniel's son. Oops, I mean Danny Dimes. Ain't seen his pass and you blind. It's a big game on the line on Thursday night, boy, it's time.
Welcome to NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC.
We got football coming your way tonight. No rain, really, I think, but we just have to deal with a little bit of wind. That's all. And hey, that's great compared to what the forecasts were saying earlier. And what else is great here for the Patriots, at least? They will get the services of Julian Edelman out there right now. He was dealing with a chest injury, but he will go tonight along with Josh Gordon. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, will be very short-handed out there tonight on a short week, the first of his career, visiting Foxborough without his starting running back, his backup running back, his starting wide receiver, his starting tight end. This will be tough for Daniel Jones for sure. Welcome in, everybody, to GameDay Kickoff. I'm Colleen Wolfe with Willie McGinnis, Steve Smith Sr., and Joe Thomas. And
Joe Thomas!
We are ready to go. You guys ready?
Ready to go.
Let's do it. So, the Patriots, they are rolling through teams to start their fourth 5-0 season under Bill Belichick. Now, New England's the only team in the league with a top 3 scoring offense and defense, but their schedule hasn't exactly been the most laborious. You could say the Patriots are beating the teams they're supposed to. So, Willie, the Patriots, they haven't lost yet, but they have shown that they do have some weaknesses over the last 2 weeks. So where are the Patriots most vulnerable, in your opinion?
Well, yeah, a little vulnerable, but I would say fixable. And with the Patriots, they're the best at making adjustments and doing that. But when you watch the offense, the times that Brady has held the ball and teams have had great coverage on the back end, he's either gotten sacked, thrown the ball away, or had a negative play. So when you watch some of these plays, this is just a 3-man pressure, okay? You're going to see it too high. It's a cover 2. The cornerbacks do a good job of jamming the receivers. Can't get the ball out like he usually does. Quick, has to hold the ball. If you look at the left tackle, he's getting beat right away. This is only a 3-man rush against 5 offensive linemen. I know they got 2 guys hurt, but they're struggling. Again, another 3-man rush. They appear to be there too high. He's going to come down. This is man-to-man. 8 guys right here in coverage. They're taking away the first look, not giving up anything quick. 3-man rush gets to Tom Brady on the 2-man game on the left side. Got to be able to get the ball out. And when it's 5 against 3 rushers, Joe, you know this all too well as an offensive lineman. You got to be able to protect and give Tom Brady time because he will not run away from anybody.
Yeah, if the defense is only rushing 3 guys, you need to be able to give your quarterback 5 to 7 seconds to stand back there and to actually scramble out of the pocket and to create some throwing lanes. It's a cardinal sin. It's inexcusable to let your quarterback get hit, especially as fast as we saw last week against Washington when they're only rushing 3 guys. And it's actually, right now, their Achilles heel. And throughout Tom Brady's career, getting quick pressure in his face has caused him to make some mistakes. We look back in 2007 when the Giants beat him in the Super Bowl. It was all about that quick pressure that makes Tom Brady throw the football because, as we all know, he's not a guy that escapes the rush very well because he's not the most fleet of foot. He's not a guy that's going to scramble and beat you with his feet. So the tackles, they're a big concern right now, and their pass protection.
Well, for me, the biggest concern would be Tom Brady if he gets hurt, unfortunately, because he is the guy that makes everything go. And then also the wide receivers. They haven't had a big game out of Josh Gordon yet. Expected. You had the receiver that was currently here that is no longer here. He was going to be a big part of their offense. And then Philip Dorsett, he is coming along, but he's not coming along at the pace they would like. So I would just say quarterback, obviously, because of how much they rely on Tom Brady, but wide receivers need to step up and be that deep threat that they need.
They also need some consistency out of their run game as well. You look at when they played the Bills, they struggled to get the run going, and Brady wasn't able to really throw into some of those tight windows. So a lot of the times they use that run game to kind of help Brady out. So they need that as well. But when we talked to Mr. Kraft a little bit earlier, and we're talking about Brady and having these playmakers, we asked him about Rob Gronkowski, and he said that Gronk hadn't turned in his retirement papers yet.
Not in.
So what are you hearing anything about? We know that he's joining our friends at Fox, but are there any chances that he will be out on the field again this year?
I think anytime Rob is around, that's the big question. Is he going to come back and play, or is he happy being retired? And when you look around on social media or whatever he's doing, he's so busy. And usually with retired players, when you don't have anything going on, or you're sitting there and you don't have anything outside except for being on your regular schedule, your football schedule, you start thinking about it more. Well, he's super busy. He's working. He's doing appearances. He's repping these companies. He's working for Fox tonight. He's doing a lot of different things. And I don't think it's been enough time. So when I talk to him, like, you get the itch yet? Yeah, not yet. He's not there yet.
Yeah, the guys that I've seen that get that itch and come back and try to make a comeback out of retirement are the guys that don't have purpose. They don't have a lot of things going on. They're idle. They're sitting at home on the couch. They're missing the game. They're missing being around the guys. But somebody like Gronk, who's got so many things going on, he's traveling all over the country. He's doing wrestling. He's doing Fox Sports. He's got so many things going on. He doesn't even have time to think about missing the game, missing being around the guys. And so I would be beyond shocked if Gronkowski decides to come back and play, because we heard what he had to put his body through just to get ready to play, and I think that's still fresh in his mind.
Yeah, and Gronk, he made his decision to step away for now, but it feels like Tom Brady is going to play forever at this point. So why has he been so successful? Let's find out from some of the greatest DBs of all time in this NFL 100 roundtable.
Tom Brady is a classified, bona fide winner.
You played with Tom in Michigan, right?
Yeah, we came in together in '95. You know, people always ask, you know, hey, man, did you see that in Tom Brady? And nobody could foresee, you know, 6 championships. You know, that's unreal. That's unheard of. But what you did see out of Tom is his competitive spirit. Tom had that fire in him. He always thought he should have been the quarterback his whole time there. He has that chip on his shoulder, then he goes 199th overall, and that chip just continues to grow. I just don't think he's ever lost it, because it seems like people still doubt him in some way.
I had an opportunity to actually play with Tom, rivals, for 6 years.
Okay.
So I was on one side playing for the Jets, competing against him and studying against him, and then also team up with him to actually win the Super Bowl. And when you're on the rival side, you studying, you're trying to figure this guy out week in and week out. We played him twice a year, same conference, you're just trying to figure this guy out. Like, what does he have that I don't have? What is driving him more than my drive, you know? And when I had the opportunity to team up with him, and I was around him every day, I was like, yeah, this guy is the ultimate competitor.
I can't wait to see more from those legendary DBs. That's tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. As for tonight, though, Tom Brady will pass Peyton Manning for the second on the all-time passing list. He just needs 18 yards to get there. So, Willie, he's accomplished almost everything you would think a quarterback would want to accomplish when he came into the league. How much longer could he possibly play for real?
I would say at least 2 more years. He's done an unbelievable job of conditioning his body and making sure he's playing at a high level. You heard the fear of not playing at a high level or being consistent or letting your teammates down. That's one of the things that drives Tom Brady. Whenever you've been passed over before, you know that feeling, so you're never going to want to be in that position again. A guy who truly, truly loves the game. He sacrifices everything outside of the game while the season is going on, shows his dedication. And when you talk to the players in the locker room, they said that they're motivated by Tom Brady because of all the work that he continues to put in. So you see the results. If you have a bad game, you throw an interception, you turn 40, people are ready to throw you over the side and say you're done. All that stuff is motivation for Tom, and he continues to prove everybody wrong, play at a high level, and win more than anybody that has ever done in his position.
When you look at Tom, he understands every athlete says, when do I know it's time to shut it down? When you lose the desire to master your craft. He's 40 years old, but yet he's mastered his craft, and he continues to do it day in and day out. What I love doing, watching him on this side of the desk and watching him on the other sideline, is you always know you can never give him too much time, because if you do, he will go to work and make you pay. And so it's awesome just to watch him do what he does here at the desk now.
I love that all these haters are sort of fueling him at this point too, like just throwing kerosene on the fire at this point.
Right? Just try something different.
Yeah.
But Joe, when you watch him play, is he showing any signs of slowing down? Do you see anything on tape?
Well, let's be clear. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, if not maybe the best. But when you do watch him, you are starting to see little cracks in his game and little slips here and there that could be a sign of him getting a little older, him aging a little bit. Like last week, he was getting that fast pressure from the Redskins. He throws up a bad interception right into the red zone, looking like a rookie quarterback, because you know what it is? He is so risk averse because he understands I'm 42 years old. I can't take the hits I used to. So he's starting to do the Eli Manning. The rush is getting close. I know I can't take it. So I'm just going to throw the ball, get rid of it so I don't get hit. And to me, that's just a little bit of a sign of him getting older, protecting his body a little bit more because he knows he can't take the hits.
Are you finished?
Like he used to.
Are you finished?
No.
Tom Brady, you'll take an old Tom Brady over some of these young guys that are on teams right now that people are trying to give away.
You didn't hear the first part of my comments I said he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL?
Joe, he was going like this.
I was asleep.
Like this while you were talking.
I was asleep. I wasn't paying attention to the gibberish that was coming out of your mouth.
Well, I thought it was all very informative from all three of you tonight. And don't worry, because we have more where that came from, everybody. Game Day Kickoff continues here live from Foxborough. There's Daniel Jones. No rookie quarterback has come into Foxborough and beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
And it ain't happening tonight.
Well, we'll see.
Here I go. I'm on the move and I'm breaking through. Yeah, here I go. I'm a go-getter. I'm a go-getter. Faster, harder, stronger. I'm a go-getter.
Sunday morning, get up, everybody. It's game day. The Panthers take on the Bucks from London. Rich Eisen, Steve Mariucci, Michael Irvin, and Kurt Warner are all on the call. Game day kickoff begins at 7 a.m. Eastern and kick at 9:30 a.m. only on NFL Network. So tonight's the first matchup between the Giants and Patriots since 2015, but one game truly linked these teams in history forever. Let's take it back to February of 2008.
The greatest game in the history of football, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Their quarterback cannot be sacked, can't even be hit. We don't stand a chance.
It seemed like the tougher the circumstances, the better off we fared. Our defense had a great plan, and they controlled that Patriots offense that was so good and scored so many points.
And the Giants do it. They're down by 4.
One touchdown, we are world champions. Believe it, and it will happen.
I will never forget the look in everyone's face when I was saying it, and how focused they were.
Manning takes the snap. Back to throw. Under pressure. Avoids the rush, and he's going to fight out of it. Now throws it deep downfield. Wide open Tyree, who makes the catch.
There was no way it was not going to end in a victory.
39 seconds to go. Manning takes the snap, looks left, lobs it left. First is wide open. Touchdown Giants! And that is it. The New York Giants have knocked off the New England Patriots with the most improbable win in recent memory.
We weren't the favorites to win this, go and beat the undefeated Patriots and win a championship. It's a surreal feeling.
Can't wait for that series to continue tomorrow, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So Eli Manning was obviously the MVP of Super Bowl 42. That was then, this is now, and there is Daniel Jones leading the way for the Giants on the field. And the Giants' selection of Jones came with plenty of criticism from the New York media and other quarterbacks. But once Jones got on the field in the preseason, he quickly won everybody over. Jones was named the Giants starter for the Week 3 game against the Bucs. Then he went on to win in his debut, throwing 2 touchdowns, running for 2 more, and the nickname Danny Dimes, it was born and then set in stone.
I'm feeling like a rock star. Giants history will be written today as the Daniel Jones era will begin. Wow, what a play by Jones.
Well done by the rookie quarterback.
Avoided the pressure and then fired a fastball. He threw that in the perfect spot.
Man, this kid is awesome.
What a performance by Daniel Jones.
So Jones is 2-1 as the starter, but hasn't had a full complement of weapons because obviously the injuries and suspensions at the beginning of the year. But Joe, from what you've seen so far, is Daniel Jones a franchise quarterback?
So far, what we've seen from Daniel Jones is that he has all the characteristics to potentially be a franchise quarterback
3 games
for these New York
we've
Giants.
seen.
He's got a big arm, he's mobile, he's smart, he's willing to humble himself and to get better. He's doing all those things that you want to see in a quarterback, so we think he might be a franchise quarterback. However, the big disease in the NFL is you watch a guy for 1 or 2 games, especially at the quarterback position, and we want to label him right away. Oh, he's the next franchise quarterback, or oh, he's a bust. But it takes 3 years, the old Bill Parcells, 3 years of watching a guy before we really know what he is going to be. And right now we've seen Daniel Jones for just a couple games. So I'm not willing to say he is definitely a franchise quarterback at this point.
Well, you're not willing to say that is because here, I got to look at this long list. 20 starting quarterbacks in your career combined.
Oh, somebody did a little research on my career.
It's not a lot. A combined winning percentage of .273. 48 wins, 128 mollywops. So what I'm saying is you have postpartum for getting your ass kicked as much as you have in your career. So
I had a baby?
So you don't understand. Really, you can see a quarterback and see what Daniel Jones does, how he does it, and what he's doing with it. In 5 games, you've had guys that haven't been able to do that in 15 minutes. So playing for the Cleveland Browns.
Do you disagree with him?
I disagree. Dang. He has postpartum. Here's the thing. I really believe
more babies.
When we are playing in our NFL careers, we go through certain things that really changes our view and skews our perspective. And you have been skewed by the 20 bums played.
Wow.
Hang on. I'm going to cut you off right now.
Wait, so
I'm sorry. Before you continue to disrespect
I don't think,
my Johnny Manziel's.
Where's Johnny Manziel? You know what Johnny Manziel is? He's parking cars right
Oh, my goodness.
Here's what you need to understand. I understand and I love you and you work hard, but Danny Dimes is this. He's a luxury car. You know what happens when you buy a luxury car? You get to build the stitch in the seats. You don't know anything.
I don't have any nice cars.
Because he's just such a nice guy. He's just such. Danny Dimes is a luxury car that you just get to do everything to. Wow. You haven't experienced that in Cleveland, and I understand it. And you know what? I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. I'm going to give you an anecdote. I'm sorry, Colleen, before you go, I got to get a real quick rebuttal in.
Yes.
Derek Anderson. Willie was on this team.
I love Derek.
2007. We won 10 games.
Yes.
He went to the Pro Bowl. He signed a nice contract with Cleveland. Yep. Everybody thought he was going to be the franchise quarterback of the next 10 to 15 years in Cleveland. Yep. You know what? He lasted a couple more years and finished his career as a backup in Carolina. Now, he had a nice career. He had a nice career as a backup, but he was never that franchise quarterback.
So 19
even though that's what we all thought he was going to be, because he had one good season in Cleveland, and that's what happens.
I got you.
You can have a good season, and you do some good things, but teams are going to get a book on you as a quarterback. They're going to find out what you don't do well.
Correct.
And you know what? They're going to attack that.
Yes.
And you know what? If you can't change it and dial it up a little bit and fix what your weaknesses are, they're going to keep attacking it, and you're never going to be a franchise quarterback.
But a lot of that falls on the coordinators, too, and the people who are calling the plays and putting these players in position. And I was there with Derek, but it wasn't just a good quarterback position. Our team wasn't buying in as a whole. We couldn't get enough players to buy in what was going on. So I think when you look at Daniel Jones, he goes number 6 overall. The expectation is he is going to be a franchise quarterback. Now, as a defensive player studying and playing against multiple Hall of Famers in my career, you look at certain things that these quarterbacks do from the pocket. Do they have the ability to make every single play on the field? Do they have the poise, the leadership, being in New York, you got to have the demeanor, right? Yes. You got to be able to make other players around you better. Does he have all those qualities? Now, I do agree. It's a small sample size. 3 games is not enough to say this guy's going to be the next whoever you may deem it to. But when you look at this kid play, you say if we can build around him, if we put other players around him, can he play at a high level? Has he shown that he can play at a high level?
Yes.
Yes. Now, I'm saying I agree. He needs more time, small sample size, but this kid is talented. He's really, really talented. We've seen guys like Russell Wilson hit the ground running. Deshaun Watson hit the ground running. We can go with a lot of guys. Then there's other guys that's been playing for 6 years or in their 5th year. We're still trying to figure out if they're franchise quarterbacks or not. So I think it's different scenarios for different players. But in this case, this kid, I think, has it.
You guys are talking like we want to take Steve's Hall of Fame jacket off right here and give it right to Daniel Jones on the field. After 3 games,
there it is.
Go ahead and take it off and give it to him. He can just wear it in the game tonight. How about that?
Well, what's the difference between him and Gardner Minshew? You love
the legend of Gardner Minshew.
It's like his mustache a little bit, all right? Okay, franchise quarterback, it's all about decision-making. That's the most important
He makes good decisions.
That's why Tom Brady is the greatest of all time.
Yes.
His decision-making is nearly flawless. And decision-making is about consistency and doing it over a large number of games and a large number of years. And we just don't know if he's a great decision-maker.
It's so true. And you know what? We get to see both of them tonight out here on the field because Daniel Jones, Steve, wait a minute.
I'm not sure. I think so, but I'm not sure.
You don't know because of what you've been through, and it's okay. It's fine. You're traumatized.
Depression, right?
Postpartum.
You could actually argue that Joe's seen a lot of quarterbacks in his time.
It's not your fault.
So he's been able to evaluate a lot of
Hey, is one of those coaches coaching today?
Oh, yeah, I got coaches out there.
Yeah,
sure.
That's probably one of the problems right now, too.
Here we go. We're moving on. So, obviously, Daniel Jones, he has quite the task tonight, trying to do something very few rookie quarterbacks have done before. These are the rookie quarterbacks who have beaten Bill Belichick since he's been with the Patriots. Joe remembers Colt McCoy's crowning achievement, but none of those quarterbacks beat Belichick here in Foxborough. As rookie quarterbacks are 0-11 at Gillette, Daniel Jones will try and become the first to beat them tonight. All right, let's take a look on the field here. You're in good hands, presented by Allstate. And there's Julian Edelman out there, Willie.
Yeah, he's healthy. And a lot of people always talk about the position that he plays in the slot. Is he a number 1? Listen, this guy is tough as nails. He's a number 1 receiver. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's the heartbeat of this offense. And I think he's one of the best guys. And, Steve, you talked to him when you was out on the field.
Can I get his autograph? Yeah. I love Julian Edelman. What he does and how he's doing it. He goes inside. He's precise. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's a great player. Love watching him play. Love what he does.
Coming off a really big game last week as well. And there's Sony Michel.
Sony, hey, the team is 11-0 in the playoffs as well. When he scores a touchdown, you got to have a running game. They prove it. If you look at the Super Bowls, whatever team has won it recently, they've had a running game, been able to control the trenches. This guy right here is the X factor.
We finally saw him break out last week, too, and he got involved in the passing game as well. But
early on in that game, they didn't have the run game, and it was hurting them in their pass protection. Second half, they were running the football, and it helped that pass protection.
And there on the other side, we have Golden Tate out there warming up.
Golden Tate, he's back. If Daniel Jones wants to be the Hall of Famer tonight, like Steve Smith has already put him in there, he's going to need a big game out of Golden Tate because all of his other weapons are on the shelf.
That's true. And Kevin Zeitler, who the Giants brought in this past year, Joe.
So going back a few years, Colt McCoy was the starting quarterback. We beat the New England Patriots. We mollywopped them in Cleveland.
Y'all beat them by a touchdown.
No, we beat them by a lot. It was because we ran the football right at him. Physical running game is one of the things that you can attack this Patriots defense even back then. And Kevin Zeitler would be a big part of that if they're able to get that win tonight.
And speaking of that Patriots defense, there is Stephon Gilmore, their lockdown corner.
Shut down.
Lockdown corner, the silent assassin. He's leading the league right now. Second in the league, 23 pass deflections. And also, too, fun fact, Cinnamon Toast Crunch as a kid is his favorite cereal.
Oh, I like
How
that.
about that? Maybe that will sway some of our picks tonight. There's Daniel Jones. Let's see who we're picking tonight. And we, spoiler alert, are all taking the Patriots.
No lone wolf tonight.
No
I'm
lone
very
wolf. Listen,
disappointed.
weather is the great equalizer. So if there is some wind and rain, you never know.
Straight
like
out.
those effects, you can't measure that with an advocate.
Here's my score: 1,000,000,007.
No.
New England Patriots.
Joe Stradamus says New England will win tonight. Bigly.
All right, so we are all taking the Patriots in this one, guys. Coming up next on NFL Network, it's Fox NFL Thursday. Rob Gronkowski, he joins Michael Strahan, Terry Bradshaw, and Tony Gonzalez. We'll see you guys after the game on the post-game show with the star of the game.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by KFC's $20 fill-ups. It's finger-licking good.
Nothing gets a... It just doesn't stop. It's the same old song playing on repeat for what seems like forever. Brady Belichick.
I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again.
Brady Belichick.
New England has done it again.
Time and time again.
6-time world champion. I don't think they're done. You guys are awesome.
And now we're hearing they're more dominant than ever. It's the Patriots and everybody else. The perfect team. If this was any other team, I'd say go ahead and turn off your TVs now.
But the Giants know a little something about finding imperfection.
Manning pops it up. First is wide open. Touchdown Giants!
I mean, is there a sweeter sound?
The New York Giants have knocked off the New England Patriots
Twice. They said it was impossible.
The Giants have finished off the Patriots.
And the Patriots are devastated. And twice, the Lombardi's found its way back to New York.
So go ahead. Say there's no chance. Say it's hopeless.
Because history says otherwise.
Once again, the Jonas Brothers sang about being only human, but they weren't talking about Tom Brady. The 42-year-old had the Patriots undefeated once again. And Terry, I'm not sure you know. I don't know. I'm not sure you know this, Terry, but the Jonas Brothers, they are big-time Giants fans, so they must love this guy. Yes, Daniel Jones, he's gaining such a following in New York. You'd think he was a Jonas brother himself. It is the New York Giants against the undefeated Patriots coming up on Thursday Night Football. They're up in Foxborough, where they love those Pats. And we are here in Manhattan, where they love the Giants. Also, our clam chowder looks a little bit different than theirs. But welcome to Fox NFL Thursday, presented by Verizon. I'm Michael Strahan here with Hall of Famers Tony Gonzalez and Terry Bradshaw. And a big thank you to the Jonas Brothers. They're currently on their sold-out Happiness Begins tour across North America.
My tour's
Good evening, fellas.
sold out.
How's your tour, by the way?
It's moving along pretty good.
Sold out?
No, not yet. No, not.
You should open for the Jonas Brothers.
No, go see Terry, people. Yeah, go see Terry. You think they like country music?
Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, I dropped my pen, but it doesn't matter because we're not dropping this game. That's right. We get week 6 started tonight with the AFC's only undefeated team, and we'll end our week on Fox with the NFC's only undefeated team.
There are just 2 undefeated teams left. Tonight's New England Patriots, who are 5-0, and the surprising San Francisco 49ers at 4-0. This Sunday, they have the huge divisional matchup in Los Angeles against the Rams.
Big game this weekend, fella. The 49ers and the Rams. The 49ers are snuck in, undefeated. No one saw this coming, but this is a team that's been stacking first-round picks who are now paying big dividends, but they're going against a team that is the class of the division in the Rams. This is a big game for the Rams because they need this win. For the 49ers, I think it proves a lot to this team, and it's kind of fitting that the AFC undefeated team and the NFC undefeated team both have quarterbacks that have run through that New England system.
Yeah. Well, good system. I'm going to tell you one thing about, I'm not so sure. The last year was last year, and maybe the Rams were the class of the division last year. That's not the case this year. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like they're sleepwalking through the season. When you have the 5 wide receivers that they have with Woods, Kupp, and Cooks, and then they have Everett and I believe Higbee, the other tight end. 5 class receivers. They Gurley in the backfield. Of course, Gurley no longer can go left to right, but he can still go straight away. This is an awesome offense, and it's built exactly for the NFL that we're seeing today. Throw the football, but so far this year, they're so inconsistent. So I think the measuring stick now goes to the 49ers, and not necessarily the Rams.
Yeah, I agree with you, but looking at this team, both teams obviously playing some good football, but the 49ers, this is that statement game for you. This is the game you dream about coming into the season, being undefeated, going against the NFC champions from last year's Super Bowl players. And you're looking at the guys, it's also as players, it's an opportunity for them to come out and say, hey, I'm a good player too. I'm a famous player now. You're looking, I'm talking about DeForest Buckner, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead. These guys are going out there. They're going to try and prove a point this weekend against those Rams.
They got a great front four there. And that is a great way to end our week. But tonight, we are kicking off week 6 with a star-studded show.
Coming up, we welcome the newest member of the NFL on Fox team. Who better to get us set for a Patriots game than Gronk? Yeah, Rob Gronkowski is now part of our team. Then Tracy Morgan recreates the David Tyree catch, as only he can. Plus Cousin Sal, Aaron Andrews, Julian Edelman, and Alex Trebek. That's all coming up on Fox NFL Thursday, presented by Verizon. Fox NFL Thursday is sponsored by Verizon, the network more people rely on, and by GMC. Live like a pro.
Welcome back to New York, and if it seems like we've been saying it for 2 decades, well, we have. The Patriots are dominating again, and this year is not just Tom Brady. Just ask any New England fan.
Well, what do you know? The Pats are 5-0 for the 4th time in the Brady-Belichick era. It's becoming almost too easy. This year, the defense is wicked good, allowing a league-low 6.8 points per game, which is well ahead of the 1985 Bears and 2000 Ravens. Thank you very much. It helps when you create 12 takeaways, 24 sacks, and have scored 3 touchdowns on special teams or defense while allowing just 2. So guess what this means? Tom Brady and Bill Belichick will see you in Miami. Get over it.
You know what? Let's not, pencil them in Miami just quite yet. I mean, obviously they played really well, played some outstanding football, but at the same time, they haven't played anybody. It's kind of like the Cowboys starting out 3-0, but they haven't really played any great teams.
What about any given Sunday? You don't believe, or any given Thursday?
Well, any given Thursday, but you never know. And looking at Pittsburgh, Miami, the Jets, Washington, they had combined for 1 win. That's who the Patriots have played this year. They played against Buffalo, has 4 wins, and they barely beat the Buffalo Bills. And Tom Brady did not look good in that game. And so right now, as good as they are, let's just pump the brakes a little bit and say until they get to the meat of their schedule.
Well, I'm a big Belichick fan. I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. This is a team that's got an awesome secondary, defensive secondary. They've got a defense that's only, so far this year, not allowed a touchdown pass. So everything I say about them is positive. So let me look for something negative. If I compared myself to them, for instance, look at me. I'm bald, I'm old, like my hair's a little gray, I got a little pudgy gut. That's the negative. Yeah. That's the negative about me. The good part is I'm just a sweet guy. I'm a sweet guy. You know what I'm saying? That's a sweet thing.
Yeah, harmless.
They have a weakness, and it might be just looking at their offensive line. Their offensive line is not yet the offensive line I expect to see at the end of the season.
There are so many things I could have said from your comments, GB, but I'm going to leave them alone. One thing I will say, one thing about the Patriots, there are 13 players on that team who scored a touchdown this year. This is a team that spreads the ball around. Nobody is a hero from week to week. They get the ball to the open man. Plus, on defense, 8 players with 2 or more sacks. It's just tough to defend them. They have players who make plays all around that field, game in and game out, regardless of what the teams they're playing. they, they always come with a certain level of consistency, and I think that's the jewel with the Patriots. But Tom Brady, he credits his longevity to his patented TB12 method. But if you asked our cousin Sal, there's another TB that deserves credit for Tom's success.
That's got to be me, right?
I can't wait.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, Cousin Sal here. Tonight, the Giants visit Beantown to do battle with the Patriots. These teams have given us 2 epic Super Bowls, the helmet catch, the Eli face. But while the Giants have found Eli 2.0 in Daniel Jones, Tom Brady's still going strong for the Patriots at 42. What keeps him so young besides playing in the AFC East? Brady credits the TB12 method, a mostly organic plant-based diet. But long before the TB12 method, there was the TB12 method. Of course, I'm talking about our very own Terry Bradshaw, the original TB12. And get this, there are some similarities beyond just the initials and numbers. Tom Brady has 6 Super Bowl rings and 1 supermodel wife. Terry Bradshaw, on the other hand, has 4 Super Bowl rings and 1 missing tooth. And they both have taken training to a level we've never seen before. Tom inside the gym and Terry outside the gym.
I'm Terry Bradshaw, and I hate to run.
Look, I know this is hard for a lot of you to digest, so what do you say we head over to Terry's hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana, to show you where the real TB12 method got started? Follow me. All right, we made it. We're here at the original TB12 facility. I have to say, it's even more glorious than I imagined. Let's go meet Terry's trainer. Okay, that was disturbing. As far as my pick goes, I'm going Patriots in a rout. You could pretty much name your score. Oh, 42-6. Who am I to argue with the GOAT?
Squirrel sandwich.
This was a mistake.
You know, I hate jealous people. I hate that. Tom Brady calls me all the time. I just don't take his phone calls. And when it comes to superstars, you ever see my wife? My wife's a friggin' knockout. Yeah. Gorgeous.
I agree.
Yeah. And my what's wrong with my workout program? Someone had to be the first, right?
Somebody
had
to be the first. And when it comes to your wife, as they say, you outkicked your coverage.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
How about you, bub?
I always outkick my coverage.
Me too.
All right, guys. We are in game mode here in New York and over in Foxborough. The players are almost ready to go. A lot of the Giant stars are hurt, so look for Golden Tate to get a lot of looks. And you know Tom Brady will always look Julian Edelman's way. We'll hear from Julian later in the show. The Patriots defense is #1, and all-pro Stephon Gilmore is a big reason why. And fellow quarterback Devin McCourty, he is as well. He leads the NFL in interceptions. They're getting ready for tonight's game at Gillette Stadium, home to 6 Lombardi trophies, and where fans are experiencing 5G built right, brought to you by Verizon. Can we just keep running that tape all night?
Of course you want to keep watching.
I can't. I want to keep running that tape. You know, I might be a little biased, but I think Super Bowl 42 was the greatest game of all time. But we wanted to take a closer look back at the game, so we asked Tracy Morgan to help us out.
There's one word to describe that play that David Tyree made from Eli in the Super Bowl. Miracle. If you want to know how a miracle looks, that's it. The next thing towards childbirth. I remember that game like it was yesterday. It was 3rd and 5, 1:15 left. David Tyree had 4 catches that year. Only 4. Eli, cool as the other side of my pillow. Calm. Tom, you nervous, buddy? Okay. Omar! Huh? He comes back. They got him. They got him in the grass. Look, pressure's on. Nope. He twists this way. He twists this way. Then he comes out here and he stops. And he just lets it go.
Airs it out down the field.
Further than that. Can I see that helmet? He caught it and brought it down on his helmet. Boom! On the helmet, complete. It never hit the ground. That's Bruce Lee concentration. concentration. And then they showed the replay, and I cried. I got choked up. And then my man Plex put the icing on the cake. We did it. You know why? This is New York City, the Empire State. I swear the monkey fell off the building. Somebody help me out. Let's go. I'm Tracy Morgan, and I love the Giants.
Nobody reminisces like Tracy Morgan.
Good one, Michael.
Yeah, Michael, what's going on? But you know what? That was the last game of my career. But you know, that was the last catch that David Tyree ever had in the NFL. I mean,
pretty
really
amazing catch.
Pretty amazing.
What a way to go out.
What a way to go out. You know, he rose up when we needed him, and thank God for that. I owe him a meal because I could retire after we won that game. You know, Eli, end of an era as well. He may have seen his last days as the Giants quarterback. Now that Daniel Jones has taken over, even though some fans thought change didn't make sense in the offseason, today they seem to be all about Danny Dimes.
The New York Giants select Daniel Jones.
Giants fans can't be happy.
This young man will not make it big in the NFL.
He's going to run. Jones to the 5. Touchdown, Giants.
Jones goes for the end zone. Caught for a touchdown.
Perfectly delivered ball by Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones gets his first chance to play in primetime tonight, and he has his biggest test so far this season. For more on the rookie, let's go out to Foxborough, where Christina Pink is standing by. Cletus, bring her on in. Hey, Christina, how you doing?
Hey, Michael. Well, as you saw there, this is easily the most scrutinized pick of this year's draft. So I asked Daniel Jones, just coming off the field in warm-ups, look, is there any part of you that just wants to come out here and prove all those doubters wrong? He thought about it for a second, he smiled, and then he said, not really. I just want to play well and get better. Well, he's 2-1 as a starter, but the thing that jumps off the page about the guy they call Danny Dimes is his poise and his toughness. His teammates and coaches say this guy does not get rattled. Well, that is going to be incredibly important tonight because they are decimated at all the offensive skill positions for the Giants, and they're facing the #1 defense in the league. But Danny Dimes is a confident player, and he's told us that he's confident with the guys he has around him. What do you think, Terry?
Thank you, Lord. I just want to pray now for
What you doing?
I'm praying for Daniel Jones. I'm sorry, America, but God bless him. I love that young man. You know, a good friend of mine, well, he's not a good friend of mine. I love his music. Kenny Chesney had a song, No Shirt, No Shoes, No Problem. For him, writing a song. But when you look at the Giants, let me put my hat back on. This one I look my cutest. But when you look at the Giants, no Barkley, no Shepard, no Ingram, problem. It's going to be a hard sell. You look at 1990 in Tokyo, what is it, Japan, Buster Douglas, when he went up against Mike Tyson, 42-1 were the odds. What happened?
He won.
He won. The Giants going up against New England in Arizona, and I presented that trophy to you. They were what, 19-0? Was that right? 18-0?
Yeah, 19.
Who won that game?
You won.
We won.
All right, what's going to happen tonight, fellas?
Well, they're going to win.
No, it's not going to happen. You're up now. That's all I got.
That was good. You know, Rocky Balboa beating Apollo Creed. That's
a movie, man.
Well, you know what? Here it is. When you look at this Giants team, you can say to yourself, okay, offensively, they're banged up. So if they're going to win this game, I think they're going to have to lean on their defense. They still got some good players on there. They got Alex Ogletree. They got Janoris Jenkins. And they got one of the best safeties in the league, Jabril Jalapeno Peppers. You know why I call him jalapeno? Because he gets jalapeno business. And he goes out there and makes plays. So if they're going to have any chance, they're going to have to stop Tom Brady because offensively, Daniel Dimes is going to have a hard time putting points up. So hopefully they can create some turnovers.
I'm going to give some positive things about the Giants because we can lean on the negative. There are a lot of players out, have all these things, but you do have Daniel Jones. And one thing I have to say about this young man, I don't know how many games he has to play before people stop wondering if he's worth being the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft. He's off to a great start of his career so far. And this is a team, I might be reaching here, fellas, but I'm going to be positive.
Where are you going?
They have the most points off the first drive in the league. Okay?
Are you serious?
They are like one of the top teams that's sustaining 10-plus play drives.
These are good. These are good stats. I like
These are good stats. Yeah. I'm hoping that means they score early, keep the Patriots off the field with these long drives, which in turn will give the Patriots less opportunity to put points on the board. Because when it comes matching personnel for personnel, they are struggling right now with all of the
Their
injuries.
punting team, though, their punting game is 9th in the league.
You just made that up. Yeah, you just made that up.
Accentuate the positive.
That was well thought out. I like it.
Yeah, you know, you got to have some positive.
What do they got to lose?
You always got a chance.
There's not a person out there watching what you just said understands any of that.
Yes, there are.
Okay,
there are Giants fans out there who think whatever I'm saying is right. That's right, you people. Well, we're going to get caught up with some league news from our guy, Peter Schrager. What's up, Peter?
Thanks, Michael. Back in August, I'm not sure anyone had 49ers-Rams as the game of the week for Week 6, but here we are. And it's the first time in 18 years that these two teams play when both of them have a winning record at the same time. 49ers, though, are going to be without their do-everything Pro Bowl fullback Kyle Juszczyk, suffered an MCL injury on Monday night, as well as their 2018 first-round pick, right tackle Mike McGlinchey. The Rams, though, they could be without Todd Gurley. Suffered an injury last Thursday, still in a ton of pain, didn't practice today. Gurley will play if he's healthy, but the message I've received is that the Rams will not rush him back if he isn't, regardless of the opponent, regardless of the high stakes in this one. The October 29th trade deadline is looming, and word on the street is that despite being 0-5, Redskins all-pro offensive tackle Trent Williams is not being shopped by Washington brass. Things can always change, but I'm told Washington will not trade him for anything less than his full market value. Staying with the Redskins, they have a new coach in Bill Callahan, and it seems like there's a new approach to practice, too. They've cut out all music during stretching. They've brought in actual officials to call penalties at practice, and the players are running wind sprints afterwards. One thing that won't change in the immediate future, though, is the use of their rookie quarterback, Dwayne Haskins. I'm told there's still no timetable for the 15th overall pick to start, and Case Keenum and Colt McCoy are above him on the depth chart even still.
All right, thank you so much for that, Peter. And you guys, a lot of changes there in Washington. Do you think it's a good idea to get rid of Jay Gruden?
Someone's always a fall guy. It's always the head coach. I like him. He's a brilliant offensive mind. He'll land, obviously, solid on his feet because he's so smart offensively. I would have kept him, but I understand why Snyder let him go.
Yeah, and, you know, also, too, Callahan coming in there, he's got to figure out what he's going to do with this kid, Dwayne Haskins. You know, that's the biggest question.
We'll see. Time will tell. And coming up, we officially welcome Rob Gronkowski. Yes, the man himself. He's coming to the Fox family as he helps us get ready to watch his old team. Plus, Julian Edelman opens up to Aaron Andrews about where he ranks among today's best in his position.
Plug in to 50 years of an electric rivalry. New York and New England.
Let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs.
Turn back the clock. That's Fran Tarkenton scrambling against the Boston Patriots in Harvard Stadium. And there's rookie Jim Plunkett motoring past the G-men in Foxborough's fancy digs. The Big Tuna in the Big Apple.
Just get out there and run like him.
Winning twice. And don't forget about his defensive coordinator. Or wardrobe change when they took their talents to Massachusetts. Then this Bill left, came back, became boss, donned a hoodie, and unleashed his quarterback named Brady, spelled G-O-A-T. 3 quick rings, then boom, boom, boom.
Still a dynasty.
Count them, 6. Gronk spike. But don't forget, they left 3 on the table, 2 against New York. Can anybody block Michael Strahan? Eli to David Tyree, and say hello to immortality. That was then. This is now. The New York Football Giants vibrate with the New England Patriots on Fox.
Welcome to the GMC Kickoff Show.
Welcome back. We are here in Fox Square with an incredibly enthusiastic audience. And we are just minutes away from the Giants and the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. And from the original TB, that would be which would be you, to the current TB, Tom Brady and the Patriots. What are your thoughts on this game, Kerry?
Well, first of all, I think just forget the game. I really just want to say that I thought that when you evaluate quarterbacks, you evaluate the championships. When you evaluate head coaches, you evaluate championships. And I think Belichick and Brady together, I mean, over the last 100 years of this game, I think they're unmatched as a duo, as a team. I like them. I actually love them both. And Brady is just a phenomenal. 6 world titles is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the greatest coach-player combination of all time. I agree with you on that. And the Patriots, they are 5-0, even though one of their biggest weapons retired in the offseason. But now, Rob Gronkowski, he is playing for our team here at Fox. That is right. You may have seen the news, but Gronk is now on Fox, and he's ready to be an objective analyst.
Who is it?
Fox Sports.
Mr. Gronkowski's been expecting you.
Yo, what's up? You need a drink?
Sure. I'll have
No, here you go. Have mine. Oh. Extra special juice in there, baby.
Well, Gronk, as you know, we are super excited about you joining the Fox Sports family.
I think it's going to be lit. Love Fox. Love the guys. It's going to be something special.
One slight concern we have is about you being impartial. You know, as an analyst, you can't play favorites.
What do you mean?
Tonight, for example, your old team, the Patriots, is playing. You might have to be critical of them. Is that something you think you can do?
Easy cheesy. I've been waiting for this moment my whole career.
All right. Well, how about you, like, for example, say something critical about Tom Brady?
TB12?
Yeah.
Easy. You know, sometimes he just throws, like, too perfect of a pass. He's got to let that receiver look good. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure that's exactly what we're talking about. But...
So, you know, he's just too handsome, too.
What about old Coach Belichick?
Coach?
Yeah.
You know, he ruins hoodies. He's not even jacked, and he cuts those hoodies off. You know, if he looked like me or something and got jacked, then I understand. He can show his arms off, but he doesn't even work out.
You know what? I think this is going to work out just fine. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. This is going to be great. You know, since I'm back, hit me long. Woo! Touchdown, baby! Woo! Gronk spike. Ready for him to score some touchdowns for us as well. Everybody give it up for Rob Gronkowski.
Welcome. Hey, man. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Tie. You got it. Hey, tie, bud. You got a tie.
This is professionals over here.
They didn't have one for me.
What's with the jeans? What's with the jeans? Can't be wearing
Give the man a break on his first day.
It's my first time. Okay. It's my first time.
Give him a break on his first day. But Rob, I want to ask you, for you, how does it feel to be a part of the Fox TV family?
You know, it's an honor and a blessing just to stand beside Tony Gonzalez right here. He was my biggest hero growing up, my favorite tight end growing up. I wish I could be a teammate with him when I was playing. We were playing, but it's an honor now to share the stage right here with him. Thank you, Tony. Yes. And we got the original TB right here.
There you go.
The guy who started all the TB.
That
started all.
You
are a legend
for me.
You are a legend to my father. Thank you.
Hey, don't leave me alone. Don't say anything.
Michael, we've done a lot together, TV shows, games. We always have a blast. Thank you.
We always have a good time. That is right.
Question for you. You're done everything. You're with us now, which is the family, which means you can't leave. Does that mean football's out now? You're never going back? Because I know you didn't sign that closure contract with the.
You look good too.
Thank you. Yeah, feeling good.
You're through playing.
Yes, feeling good. You know, I've answered this question many times before.
Not for me.
But not for you. I like that. The original TB right here.
That's right.
You know, I would have to be feeling it, feeling it big time to come back. I mean, it's always going to be open in my mind. I love the game of football, I love playing the game. I love being around the game. I even love watching the game of football now. It makes just appreciation to watch it, just seeing the hits, seeing the glory of it. You understand the game so much more and why fans love the game so much more.
Tell me that.
So, I'll always keep it open. I'll always keep it open. I'll always keep it open. I'll always keep the door open.
What about money? You having to take a pay cut to come here?
Did I have to take a pay cut? Let me tell you this. To get a deal done here was a lot easier than getting a deal done with the Patriots.
Really?
Yes. I was just telling the truth.
Glad you're here. Answer me this question.
How much, man? How much they paying you?
I ain't telling you.
Don't answer that question, okay, Gronk? Gronk, stay
you guys
right
are going to get me in trouble here.
Yo, we're not going to get you in trouble, but you're not going anywhere either. We're going to hear more of Gronk's thoughts about his old team. That is up next. And Gronk's old teammate, Julian Edelman, sits down with our Aaron Andrews and shares why his relationship with Tom Brady off the field has led to so much success on it.
Hey, everyone at home. Just before Thursday Night Football gets started, I thought I'd like to warm you up with a few football-related clues from Jeopardy. Here's the answer. This NFL team lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls. That's right, you got it. Who are the Buffalo Bills? Next one. The answer is this former NFL player currently has more jobs than Craigslist. That's correct. Who is Michael Strahan? He's got more jobs than the Jeopardy board has screens. Being great at football wasn't enough, huh, Strahan? You have to enter My Turf. Just kidding, Michael.
Oh, man, Alex, I never impede on your turf, man. A big thanks to Alex Trebek. Alex, we're all thinking about you. We want to see you on TV for many years to come. And, you know, whenever Tom Brady is in jeopardy, he finds his go-to guy, Julian Edelman. But the wide receiver doesn't always get all the credit he deserves. Our Aaron Andrews went to find all the answers, didn't you, EA?
Sure did. And, you know, Julian Edelman didn't play it down at wide receiver until he was drafted in 2009. Of course, he was a quarterback in high school and in college, but now he and his quarterback have formed a relationship on and off the field that have made them truly unstoppable. And while Julian may not look like your typical wide receiver, it's time that the rest of the league gives him the respect he's due.
Julian Edelman has made the most of his career.
I love competing. I love going out and going against another man and seeing where you stack up.
If you don't consider Edelman to be a great NFL player, I can't help you.
The NFL does this thing where they rank the 100 top players in the league. Every year it's voted on by your peers. Last year you didn't even make the list. Not sure how that's even possible. This year you're 90th.
Hey, you know, it is what it is.
Fuels your fire, right?
Nah, I mean, that doesn't fuel my fire. Going out winning games, important games, playing in important games. Yeah! Doing well in important games is what fuels my fire.
They have you as the 19th best wide receiver in the league. The 18 wide receivers ahead of you, do you know how many Super Bowl wins they have?
I do not.
They don't have any. Who's voting on this thing? I'd like to talk. I'm sorry.
We didn't get her to vote. We didn't get Aaron to vote.
I'm offended by this. I think this is so wrong.
Can she vote?
It's wrong.
Erroneous.
Erroneous.
Lefty throws it to Edelman. Touchdown, Patriots. In rhythm. 1, 2, 3, boom.
I know who thinks this is wrong, and it's Tom.
Great play, boy. Great play.
He said to us, you're one of the best players in the history of this franchise. Do you at all feel like you're undervalued within the league?
No, I mean, I really don't think of that. You know, obviously, it'll make you a little mad here and there. If you're going to worry about things you can't control, you're just burning energy for no reason.
What I love about the two of you, obviously the late round draft picks, you have that in common, how much you push each other on and off the field.
Hey, get him ready, Tom. Get him going.
Can you take me back when you two first started working together? Why did it click?
It was Tom Brady.
They can't cover me.
You know, I was a Bay Area kid. I was on, you know, the asphalt of junior high saying I was number 12 for the Patriots just because he was a guy from our area.
Were you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I remind him that every day, too.
You do? Yeah.
Let's go now. Let's get one.
What is his response to that?
You're old, too, now.
Okay.
98, let's go.
How would you describe your relationship with him?
99.
Kind of older brother-ish.
Are you happy? I'm not happy. I'll be happy next week.
You know, he tries to pick on me, but then I pick on him.
Nice ball!
I think that's what he likes about me sometimes. I'll give it back to him.
You're too old!
Guys in the locker room that are 22 years old, 20 years younger than this guy. Some guys are intimidated to even talk to him. I like to make him feel like one of the guys.
You're the greatest quarterback in the world, man.
Well, these two have really the greatest relationship as they just run behind me right now. Julian telling me, Tom gets me. He's so patient with me. He puts up with my antics, and he knows when to put his foot down. And Gronk, I first of all want to welcome you to the Fox family. So happy we have you. I'm sure you miss moments like this, the runouts. But speaking of TB and putting his foot down due to antics, I need to know how many times he did that about it if you can share it.
Yes, thanks, Aaron. You know, once in a while in the locker room, Tom had to put his foot down on me, you know, control me a little bit, yell at me, get that scream going. But let me tell you something about Julian. First off, he calls himself the squirrel. You want to know why he calls himself the squirrel? Because he is a squirrel. He's furry. He's furry. He's cute. He's elusive. He's feisty. And most importantly, whenever he gets a chance, he gets that nut. Just like he gets a first down. Just like he gets the touchdown. Just like he'll give you a catch when you need it.
What? WWF. I'm ready to play. Put us in, coach.
Let's go, baby. Put us in.
You want to come back? No, you wouldn't have lasted long. All right, thank you for that, Rob. And Julian's one of the toughest players out there, one of the most underrated players out here in the league. And it is time now to make some picks for tonight. And you at home, you can play along as well. Go download the Fox Sports Super 6 app and play TNF Super 6, and you could win up to $25,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money. That's right. One of the questions, fellas, on tonight's Super 6 is, how many touchdowns will Tom Brady throw tonight? TB, what you got?
I'm going with 4.
I'm going to piggyback TB here and go with 4.
Go 2.
I'm going to go with 3, and he's going to have one of those QB sneak reach over touchdowns too.
Okay, I'm going to go with the guy who knows them best. I'm going to take 3 with Rob. Now, let's make a prediction for the game. Terry, we're going to start with you.
New England.
Oh, boy, that was quick.
Come on, New England.
New England, Michael.
Yeah.
Come on. New England.
Okay.
New England.
Hey, call me a homer. How about those Giants, everybody? Hey, you never know. Anything could happen. It is football. Thursday night football at that. And coming up, we head out to Foxborough with Joe, Troy, Aaron, and Christina take over as we inch closer to kickoff. It's the Giants and the Patriots. It's Thursday night football, and it's here on Fox.